Coomes Center family, we're really glad that you could be here today, and from wherever you are, and we certainly miss you, and but we're glad that we can connect with you guys through this avenue here. So I invite you from wherever you are to, if you have a blanket or a towel, you can use this maybe to sit on, just get yourselves comfortable. And it might mean not sitting cross-legged, maybe sitting with outstretched legs is where you need to be. If you're in a chair, find a comfortable seat. Just allow yourselves to land. And we're going to go ahead and either lower down the eyes or find, we call a drishti gaze or a soft gaze, about 3 feet or so ahead. And again, just begin to soften the muscles of the face. Let the arms just hang softly below the shoulders. The palms can be facing up or down on the knees. Often when they're facing up, we're looking to be more in a place of receiving. And palms down, maybe needing to feel a little more grounded. So just without judgment, acknowledge where you are now. Begin to quiet thoughts. And allow just for a moment here to let the breath move freely through the body, not controlling it. Taking in the air around you. And if thoughts begin to come in, just let them drift right through. And then I invite you to add a little bit of length to your in-breath, the same length to your out-breath, creating a wave of breath. So imagine that breath moving up through the body and circling around back, continuing on your own while feeling rooted and lengthened through the crown. I invite you to come up with something that you may feel especially grateful for today. Maybe there's someone or something that comes to mind. We could dedicate this time of your practice to. And once your thoughts feel complete, we'll meet with our hands at heart center. Pressing in the palms together, feeling the heart beat into the thumbs. Slowly lower the chin down to the tips of the fingers. Honoring yourself, especially for taking the time for self-care today. And feeling simply grateful for our bodies that will be doing the work here. Perhaps there's something else that you may feel especially grateful for. And then with the eyes staying closed, or you can blink them open, bringing that gaze forward. Sitting lifted, we're going to bring the arms out to the side, palms facing up. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up. That gaze can move up towards the sky if you'd like. Exhale, turn the palms down, pressing away, allowing the chin to move down to the chest. Good, we'll do this again. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. Think of all the things that you wish to bring in. Pressing away the things that don't serve you, bringing the chin down to the chest. Good, let's do 2 more here. Lengthening, think about this as seated earth to sky. Plugging those shoulders down, exhale, bringing the chin down to the chest. Good, collectively, one more time, we can do this all together. And as we exhale, we'll meet with the chin down to the chest. You can leave the hands alongside of the hips or bring them to the knees. We're going to bring the left ear to the shoulder, melting away the right side. The eyes can be open or closed. Chin back to the chest, right ear to the shoulder. So let's continue on your own here, allowing the breath to direct the movement. Notice which side may feel you've got a little more tension. And if one direction feels especially in need of some release, I invite you to hold that. In fact, maybe the last one on each side, at a pause, you can walk the opposite hand out or bring it around the back body in a bind. Maybe open up the chest. When you're ready, in the pace of your breath, coming back to the center and doing the same thing to that other side. Opening up. Remember, if you're breathing, you're doing yoga. So remember, whatever I offer you is that. It's just an offering. Coming back to center. Bringing the gaze forward, bringing the hands to the top of the knees. Inhale, open up the heart space, bringing that gaze up towards the sky. Just one more time. Exhale, chin to the chest, drawing in the belly, rounding back. So it's a variation of tortoise here. 2 more times, creating more space in the heart. Good, keeping those shoulders down, shoulder blades together. Exhale, rounding back. Let's do this one more time. Breathe for your neighbor or whoever's in their home with you or wherever you are. Open up and rounding back. And then we'll meet back at center. Okay. So we're going to take the right hand, walk it out from the hip. We're going to bring the left arm up and over. So we're going to be rooting the left hip down. The gaze can be up at the arm or down at the floor. And we're going to bring the arm across. I like to picture a still pond, moving across, rooting the hips. Right arm comes up and over now. Keep long through the fingertips, plugging in the shoulder, opening the heart space, bringing the arm across. So it's a very gentle flow here. So I invite you to move through 2 or 3 on either side at the pace of your breath. And give yourselves permission to slow it down. There's a lot of quick moving and things that we're working with right now outside of where we are. Let's use this as kind of a time to pause. Good. So let's do one more on either side or until you feel complete. Maybe taking it just a bit more, noticing where the breath is moving into the back body. And then together we'll meet back here at center. And once you feel like you're back in the center, let's bring the shoulders up to the ears and bring them back and down. Good. Bring the shoulders back up, roll them forward and down. Let's do this one more time. Think about how much more space you can create in the heart center. And then we'll meet back at neutral, so nice and tall here. Okay. So from here, we're going to make our way up to tabletop. So if you need a little bit of padding for the knees, you can use a blanket or a towel. If you don't have anything like this, you can bring a fold here to the mat and simply place your knees on it. So lining up the hips above the knees. If you have challenges with the wrists, you can use a blanket and place the hands on the other outer edge of the blanket, provide some support. Otherwise, the hands are below the shoulders or slightly forward, and we'll turn the fingertips out just a little bit. Feeling one long line from the crown to the tailbone. And we're going to move into our cat-cow. So for cow, we're going to drop that navel down towards the mat. I like to turn my toes under. You're going to stretch, send that gaze forward, shoulders down the back. Exhale to cat. So rooting down through the knuckles and the fingertips, press the back up to the sky. And then coming back to your cow. And think about keeping a hollow in the palm of your hand. It takes a little stress off the wrists. So moving through this, the pace of your breath. You're always welcome to push back into a child's pose, into the flow. You can exaggerate the movements here, taking what you need. So let's do 3 more full cat-cows and we'll meet in our child's pose. We call that Savasana. Being mindful of the breath threading together each one of the movements. Pranayama, breath. And once we do meet in child's pose, I invite you to make it as comfortable as you can. And that might mean bringing the knees apart, big toes together. And if it doesn't feel good to have the hips down as far to the heels, you can also place a blanket to create some support there. So allowing the forehead to come down to the mat, or you can make a pillow with the arms, whatever you need here, or a block, and gently turn the forehead side to side, massaging the third eye space. And I invite you to come back to your breath here. Imagine that wave of breath washing around in the back body. Coming to the back ribs. And I invite you to find just something else that you may be feeling particularly grateful for. Now keeping the hips back towards the heels, we're going to walk the hands over to the left side, pressing away, squaring off the right hip, opening up the right side body. Walking back to the center, lengthening through the arms. The shoulders stay plugged down, and walk the hands over to the right side. Again, squaring off the left hip. Opening up the space on the left side. Let's do one more on your own, either side. I invite you to take it a little further. So maybe this time it might mean bringing the torso over the left leg, pressing away the floor, pressing in. Feel that sensation, that breath, the pace of your breath coming back to center. We'll do the same thing over to the right side. Maybe lifting up the torso, letting it come to rest on the leg. And when you're ready, we'll meet back at center. And then if we brought the knees apart, I invite you to bring them in just a little bit closer and bring yourself up to tabletop. So meeting here in table. We're going to go ahead and walk the hands out, maybe a palm's distance ahead. We're going to turn under the toes. Now for those that may not be comfortable in downward facing dog, we can simply meet at the top of the mat. That's where we'll end up. Otherwise, rooting into the hands, begin to send the hips up towards the sky. And give yourself permission to pedal it out. We're just warming up here. You can walk the dog, you can wag your tail. Again, really rooting into the hands, pressing the heart space towards the top of the leg. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. Together we'll come up on the balls of the feet. Exhale, send the heels down. They don't have to touch. And you can take a bunch of little baby steps and begin to walk your feet up to the hands. And I'm going to face you. We're going to meet in our forward fold here. So we're really bringing a deep bend to the legs. Maybe the belly comes to rest on the leg. And you can let the arms hang or get a clasp on the elbow. Let the tension roll off the back of the neck. Rocking gently side to side. And feeling grounded in the feet. And the toes are coming in just slightly. We're not pigeon-toed, but the outer edges of the feet are lined up with the outer edge of the mat. And then if you've got a bind, let's release that, coming up, bringing the hands to the front of the shins to our half lift. So we've got one long line from the crown to the tailbone. Exhale to fold. You can bring that deep bend to the knees. Inhale, half lift, and fold. Now rooting through the feet, we're going to circle sweep the arms up. And imagine coming over an exercise ball here. Lengthen through the low back. Exhale, heart center. Just take a breath in and a breath out. Okay, so I'm going to move us through an easy flow here. Please go at your own pace and stop and get a drink of water if you need it. So again, get your positioning with the feet so they're lined up with the inner part of the hips. Hands to heart. And take a breath in, circle sweep the arms up. So lifting through the fingers and the low back. Exhale, hinge from the hip, forward fold. Inhale to half lift and fold. Go at the pace of your breath. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up. Getting that lift in there. Exhale, heart center. Take a breath in and a breath out. Good. And again, inhale, opening up, creating more expansion in the heart space, maybe lifting up the toes. Exhale, fold. Hinging from the hip. The knees stay soft or bent. Inhaling, half lift and fold. Inhale, root to rise, circle, sweep the arms up. Exhale, heart center, taking a breath in and a breath out, feeling your heart rate move going. Let's do one more time on our own. We'll meet at heart center. Take what you need from this, because you know it way better than we do. And then once you feel complete, we'll meet back at heart center. Moving into our Tadasana. So yogi's choice. Your hands can stay a prayer, or you can bring the hands alongside the body, rooting down the fingers. So I invite you to shut down the eyes or find something to softly gaze at. And bring your awareness to your feet, picking up the toes, then one by one, slowly release them. And rock front to back, find your center. Feel the legs grow strong. The tailbone points to the back of the knees, shoulders back and down the back body. One long line through the crown. And be aware of the breath and the power of your mountain, your Tadasana. And I like to think of this as the hub of a wheel, that one still place when everything else is moving. You can come here anytime. One more breath here. And then I invite you to bring a softness to the body. Take any small movements. So it's very much an active pose here. Step it out again, get some water if you need it. All right, we're going to move into just a gentle warrior one flow. So we're going to come to the top of the mat here. We're going to step our right foot back. So you want to take a moment, check in with the hips, so that your hips, if they were like headlights, they would be leaning forward here. And bring a gentle bend to the front knee. So you want to be able to see your toes, and the outer edge of that back foot is down rooted on the mat. Okay, so once you feel ready, then we can bring the arms up. Now, if this does not feel good in the shoulders, cactus arms, goalpost arms, that's always okay too. So lifting through that low back space, opening up, bringing the shoulder blades together, this cactus arms, bringing the elbows together. As we inhale, as we exhale, we'll straighten the front knee and hinge forward into a fold. So there's a little flow here. Next breath brings us back to warrior one. Make this fluid, make this watery. Letting the breath direct the movement. Open up the cactus. Shoulders stay down, shoulder blades together, elbows together. As we inhale, exhale, fold. We're going to do this one more time, but we're going to meet in our fold here. Inhale, warrior one. You got it. Nice and tall, lifting. Opening up the arms. Opening up your heart space. Elbows together. And then as we fold, I invite you here to, you can bring the hands to the left shin, or stack the hands on the lower back, or make a clasp, bringing the shoulder blades together, and let the neck release, letting that tension wash off. Next breath will release the bind if you've got it. Come back to our full expression of warrior one. Big lift here. And then we'll step the right foot to meet the left. Beautiful. And we're going to flow it out. I'm going to face you here. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhaling to half lift. And fold. Inhale, root to rise, lifting through the fingertips, if you're lifting up the toe. Exhale, heart center. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Okay. Now we're going to do the other side now. So we're going to step the right foot to the front of the mat. Left foot comes back now. And be okay with each side feeling very differently than the other. So take the time to build it up. Sort of keep our hips honest. Bring your hands, check them, they're facing forward. And then build your stance. You could look very differently on each side. And then when you feel ready, we'll come into our full expression here. Again, shoulders are down and away. You know where we're going here. Inhale, open up. Is there more expansion in the heart space? We stay so rounded. Elbows forward. And then hinging forward to our fold. Again, inhale, make it watery. Let the breath direct the movement. Lifting through the low back. Opening up the heart space. Elbows together. As we exhale, fold. A little bit of balance, so try to get your gaze focused here. One more time and we'll meet in our fold. You know where we're going here. Inhale, open up. Elbows back. Bringing them together. And we'll find our fold. So maybe do what you did on side one. If you like the hands behind the back or a clasp. The idea is to open, to broaden the collarbones. Get the tension out of the neck. Next breath, release that bind if you've got it. Coming back up to warrior one. And we'll step the left foot to meet the right. Good. We're going to flow it out here. I'm going to face you. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to half lift. And fold. Good. Then we're going to come back up to a half lift, long through the back. We're going to take the left hand, bring it across to the outside of the right shin. The right hand comes to the low back. And we're going to spin open the chest to the right. Now check to see that the knees are still in alignment. You can also look at the floor if it's too much for the neck. Coming back to center. And just allow yourselves to waterfall over. Soften everything. You can shake out the head. And coming back to our half lift. Pushing those shoulders down the body. Now the right hand comes across, left hand to the low back, and it kind of keeps our hips honest here. And then we'll open up to the left, sending that gaze to where it's going to feel right for you. Next breath brings us back to center. Last time we're going to waterfall over. Now from here, I invite you to hopefully get a little more stretch behind the legs. You can let the hands dangle. You can clasp the big toe. You can clasp behind the ankles. Or maybe if you're really feeling stretchy, take the palms, the feet, and resting into the palms of the hand. So kind of play with that. And begin to see if you can straighten the legs, getting a little more of a stretch. Remember to breathe. One more breath here. And then let's release the bind if you have it. Walk the hands above the knees with that flat back. Bring yourselves up. Circle sweep the arms up. One more lift. Exhale, heart center. Take a breath in and a breath out. Okay, you guys are doing great. Now we're going to start to make our way down by way of a downward facing dog, or we'll meet in tabletop. So downward facing dog, coming to the top of our mat. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale, fold. Inhale the half lift and fold. And if you're stepping back to downward facing dog, I invite you to do that. Play with it a little bit. You can send the hips up a little higher. You can bring the one leg up at a time. Take what you need here. And then together we'll bring the knees down to the mat. And let's all just press back to child's pose for just a moment here. So the knees can be separate or together. The arms can be stacked, or maybe bringing the arms around the body in embryo pose. All right. So we're going to bring ourselves up here. And we are going to come down onto our back. So we're going to take your time to do that, hugging the knee into the chest, your favorite leg, and then go ahead and rock it out. You can circle it out side to side. Then we'll bring the feet back to the mat, bringing the arms out to the side. You're going to pick up the hips, shift them over to the right, drop the knees to the left. Rooting down the right shoulder. You can look over the right arm if that feels good. Back to the center. Let's pick up the hips, shift them to the other side, and do the same thing here. Looking over the opposite arm. Coming back to center. Squaring off the hips to the center. Let's bring the feet in close. Bringing the arms alongside the body and bringing those shoulder blades behind the back body. Moving into bridge, rooting into the feet, sending the hips up. And slowly lower down. So I invite you to do a few more here. Take it to a point where you can feel that stretch, never any strain in the body. And then once we feel complete, maybe one or two more, we'll straighten the legs out, bring the arms up overhead if that feels good, full body stretch. Walking the legs out one way, arms back another way. And bring the hands and feet both to the left side, maybe keeping the back and shoulders on the mat. The kids, we call this Tadasana. Back to the center. And to the other side. Feeling that breath in the side body, both side bodies here. And back to center. All right. Now, from here, let's hug the knees into the chest, and we're just going to take a brief moment of rest. So finding any position that feels comfortable to you. It might be constructive rest, where the knees are tipped in together, hand on the heart, hand on the belly, or legs up the wall, or simply getting wide on your mat. Just let go. So from wherever you are, I invite you to quiet the mind. Let the body be still, as all the work has been done. Allowing each breath you bring in and each breath you release. Take you down just a bit deeper. Feeling whole, feeling weightless, and feeling light. As we complete our practice in our Savasana, I would like to share a reading by a yogi named Marnie Sklarov. She titles it, "That Mountain You Are Carrying." Carrying all that weight on your back is making you tired. So what if you took it off your back and took a deep breath and opened your eyes for the first time again? And what if you looked at the mountain and kissed the ground and took one little easy step? And then what if you cried because you realized you are free? And our breath would move like the ocean speaking, and our feet would love the earth. Our feet would love the earth, one step, one breath. The trees are inhaling your exhale. We breathe together as the earth hugs us now. Begin to allow the sound of the chimes to slowly bring you back to where you're resting. Allowing any small movements. And if you feel comfortable, take a moment to come to rest on your favorite side. Taking in this last sip of stillness. And then ever so mindfully, with the eyes closed, slowly begin to bring yourselves back up to our easy seat where we began. We'll meet here together with our hands at heart center, Anjali Mudra. We'll slowly again bring the chin to the tips of the fingers, again honoring yourselves for showing up today. Feeling just grateful for whoever is there with you, and for all of us to collectively be together as a community. And for that, I feel especially grateful to all of you from wherever you are for sharing your light and beautiful energy here today. May our practice today be for the good of all beings everywhere.